Friends, welcome back to the channel DevOps Consultancy and Solution. In this video, we will talk and learn about agent pools in Azure DevOps. We will see what are agent pools and how we can create our self-hosted agent. Mainly, we can categorize agent pool in two categories: Microsoft hosted agents and self-hosted agent pools. So let's get started. There are four types of agent pools available in Azure DevOps. First is Microsoft hosted agents. Agents which are hosted and managed by Microsoft are called Microsoft hosted agents. These agents are ephemeral, meaning they are created fresh for each jobs and discarded after. These agents come with pre-installed packages, various tools and software. It can save your time and effort in setting up for build and deployment environment. So what are pre-installed software on Microsoft agents are? So these can be programming languages like Python, Ruby, Java, .NET, Node.js or Go. It can be build tools like Gradle, Maven, MS Build. So CI/CD tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Ansible. Cloud tools, Azure CLI, AWS CLI, or testing frameworks like Selenium, JUnit, and NUnit. So these softwares or tools are pre-installed on the Microsoft hosted agents, which can help you to run your build. So Microsoft hosted agent is available in Azure DevOps service. So next is self-hosted agent. Agents that are configured and managed by you and hosted on your VM. It can be your personal laptop or it can be your Azure virtual machines. Self-hosted agents are customizable environment which includes your specific software, its version and configurations. Like Microsoft hosted agents, it support Linux, Windows and Mac OS. Self-hosted agents can be set up in secure environment or private network. You can have self-hosted agent on Azure DevOps Service and Azure DevOps Server. So next is Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set Agent. The Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set Agents is a type of self-hosted agent in Azure DevOps that allow you to automatically scale a pool of agents running in your Azure virtual machines. If you work on Azure Cloud and have created a virtual machine scale set, then you should know that VMSS has set of virtual machines that have same set of tools and configuration installed on it, and it can be scalable in and out based on your application demand. These agents, Azure VMSS agents, are part of scale set, which dynamically adjust the number of VMs based on the demand of your pipeline. We need virtual machine scale set when we need scalability similar to the Microsoft hosted agent, but with custom configurations with the tool version you want to install. So VMSS agents provide the kind of flexibility in that area. Virtual machine scale set agents is available in Azure DevOps service. Next is managed DevOps pool agent. It is fully managed service where virtual machines or container powering the agents like Microsoft Azure subscription and not in your own Azure subscription. So this agent is available in Azure DevOps service. So there are four type of pools which you can create. First is the Windows pools. So for the Windows pool, you can use Windows Server 2022 or Windows Server 2019. So Windows pools are best for .NET, C Sharp or Visual Studio projects. It includes build tools like MS Build and NuGet. It also supports PowerShell and Azure CLI. And Windows pools are suitable for desktop and web application development. Next is Ubuntu pools. Ubuntu pools can use operating system like Ubuntu 24.04, Ubuntu 22 or Ubuntu 20. So Ubuntu pools are best used for Python, Node.js or Java application. It includes tools like Docker, Kubernetes and .NET Core also. Ubuntu pools preferred for containerized workload and cloud native applications also. It includes popular packages, package manager like apt, npm or pip, which is Python. Next is Mac OS pools. So for Mac OS, you can use Mac OS 15, Mac OS 14, or the Mac OS 13 version. And it is ideal for the iOS, Mac OS, or the Watch OS application development. It comes with Xcode pre-installed for Apple platform projects. Mac OS pools include tools like Homebrew, CocoaPods, and Fastlane, and it supports .NET Core and JavaScript languages. Next is Red Hat, which is the Linux pools. So it supports various softwares like Debian, Fedora, RHEL, Alpine Linux, Oracle, or SUSE Enterprise Linux. Same like Ubuntu, it is best for Python, Node.js, and Java applications. It includes tools like Docker, Kubernetes, and .NET Core platform. It preferred for containerized workload and Kubernetes cloud native applications. It includes package manager like apt, npm, and pip. Now let's discuss the difference between the Microsoft hosted agent and self-hosted agent. So as I said earlier, Microsoft hosted agents are fully managed by the Microsoft, and self-hosted is managed by the user, by yourself. Next feature is scalability. Microsoft hosted agent is fully managed and scalable by Microsoft, whereas self-hosted agents are managed and scalable by user either by manually or by scripts or by virtual machine skill set. Next feature is customizability. Microsoft hosted agents come with standard pre-installed tools, whereas in self-hosted agents, user need to install all the tools and required software. Next feature is security. Microsoft is responsible for Microsoft hosted agents, whereas user is responsible for the security of self-hosted agents. Next feature is time to setup. It is very easy to set up and take less time to start Microsoft hosted agent, whereas self-hosted agents takes time to install required software and tools to start and integrate with Azure DevOps. Next is pipeline isolation. Microsoft hosted agents are ephemeral and each agent is isolated per job, whereas self-hosted agents depend upon depends on your configuration and persistent in nature. Last but not the least, next important feature is maintenance. Microsoft is responsible for Microsoft hosted agents. For all the patching upgrades, Microsoft is responsible. Whereas self-hosted agents, user is responsible for all upgrades, patches and installation. Now we will see how to create the self-hosted agent. For that, you need to go to the Azure DevOps and create the agent pool. Log into the Azure DevOps portal, which I already logged in, and here is my organization name, DevOps Consultancy and Solution. I have one project here, DevOps CNS. Go to the organization setting, which is on the left side of the bottom. So when you click here on the organization setting, you can see the pipelines on the left side. If you're not able to see, you can just scroll down. You can see the pipelines and click on the agent pools. When you click on the agent pools, you can see your agent pools which are already configured. So Azure Pipeline and default agent pools are created by the Azure Pipeline, and this is self-hosted agent which is I already created. So in my account, I have the 3 agent pools. In order to create the new agent pools, click on the add pool on the on the right side top corner. You can see add pool. So when you click here on the add pool, you can see there are 3 options available. One is the managed DevOps pool, another is the self-hosted, and third is the Azure virtual machine skill set. So I will click on the self-hosted and give the name here. So I will give the name here demo agent pool, right? And you can give the description if you want. And here is an option, pipeline permission. So auto provision this agent pool in all projects. So I will just remove it. I don't want to give the permission for this agent pool, that automatically all the pipelines will trigger on this agent pool. So I will just uncheck it. And if you scroll down, you can click on the button create. So now click on the back to the settings. Now go to the project. Now click on the project setting, which is again on the left side of the bottom corner. So click on project settings. If you scroll a little bit up or down, you can see the pipelines and click on the agent pools. So now click on the, if you go to the right side on the top, there is an option add pool. So click on the add pool. So the pool which I created in the organization settings, so I will click on the existing. In the drop down, you can see there is an option, there is a pool which I created, so it is available. So I select it here. Again, it is asking whether you want to give the grant access permission to all the pipelines. I don't want to give for right now. So I will click on the create button. So now the agent pool has been created. If I go on the DevOps agent pool, which I created, so in the agents section, if I click here, so this is the pool. So in this pool, I can add as many agents as many agents as I want. So I can add, I can create two virtual machines and add those as an agent and add into this pool. So whenever the pipeline, I will run the pipeline, whichever the machine, virtual machine will be available, whichever the agent will be available, my pipeline will run on that particular agents. So if I click on new agent, so here you can see there is an option how to install the agent on your virtual machine. So this is the option for the Mac OS, this is the option for Windows, and this is the option for the Linux. So if you can see here in the Linux, you have the x64, ARM, ARM64 or RHEL options. Right. So next step is I will create the Azure virtual machine and add it as a node in the agent pool. So for that, I will go to the Microsoft Azure portal. So where I will create the virtual machine. So I already logged in into my Azure portal. So here I will create the virtual machine. So I will click on the virtual machine, right? So I will give an go to the create. So I will click on create virtual machine. So I will fill all these details. So resource group, I will select DevOps CNS. So agent pool, I will use demo agent node. So it will be on the East US. So by default, I will select. So I will go for the Ubuntu server machine, and default settings, everything I will go as default. Yeah, so password key. So generate a new key pair. I will go for that and select yes. So then next I will click on the next option. So I will go with all the default options and click on networking. Again, all the default options, and here I will select delete public IP and NIC when VM is deleted. So I will select it. So automatically public IP and NIC will be deleted when I will delete my virtual machine. So here I will just click on review and create. So validation is passed. So I will click on the create button. So it is asking me to download so I will download my private key. So virtual machine creation process has been started. So now the virtual machine has been created. So I will go to the resources. So here you can see the public IP is there, and I will just copy this public IP. So now I will log into this virtual machine. So this is my key, and user will be Azure user. So now I am able to log into the virtual machines. So next step is to install the agent. For that I will go to the DevOps portal page. First is we need to download the VSTS agent tar file. So I will just copy here. So now I will run the curl command to download the file. So I will run this command. So now the file has been downloaded. So if I say here, and if I go back to the, so next step is we have to create the directory my agent and go to that particular directory. So I will run this command. So next step is I have to run the command or untar this file into this my agent directory. So what I will do, I will just copy this file or move this file into the my agent directory. Okay, sorry, I'm already in, so I will go back, move this file into my agent directory, go to my agent and tar zxvf file. So now I untar this file and I can see here all the all the scripts and the binary files are available. So next step is I have to configure the agent. So for to configure the agent, I need to run the command config.sh. So it is asking, do you want to accept this license? So I should say yes. So now it is asking for server URL. So server URL will be up to this DevOps CNS organization name. So I will just paste here the URL. So authentication, next is asking for the authentication type. So yes. So I will go for the personal access token and I have to enter the personal access token. So now next step is how to get the personal access token for your project. So if I click on the user settings, in the user settings, here is an option called the personal access token. So if you can see here in the user settings, you can see the personal access token. Right. So I have already created. So I will create the new access token. So I will give here the name demo node pool, and I will give here it will expire in 30 days. Yes. And so for the time being, I will give an option full access, but you can define the access. Whether you want to write work items, code, so build artifacts, so whatever the access you want, so you can define your access. So for the demo purpose, I will go for the full access and click on create. So access token has been created. So I will just copy the token here and paste it here into the agent. So now you can see here it is connecting to the server. So it already registered to the agent. So now I have to enter the agent pool. So I will enter here demo agent pool. So next it is asking enter the agent name. So so I can use the same name demo agent node. So I will use demo agent node. So it is doing the connectivity and it will register our agent node into it. So next is I have to enter the work folder. So I will just give here the folder name work. So now my agent has been configured into the agent pool. So if I go to the agent pool, so now if I click on the my agent pool, demo agent pool. So if I go to the agents, so now you can see the agent node has been configured and added to the pool. But it is, if you can see here, it is just right now it is offline. So in order to run the agent, so what I need to do is I have to start the node here. So I can use the command run.sh. You can run these command into the background but just for the demo purpose I'm just showing you how it will work. So here now if I'm running this command, it will connecting to the server and it has already started and it is saying listening for the jobs. It is ready to accept the jobs. So if I go back to the agent node, here you can see it is saying demo agent node is online. So next step is to use this node into the pipeline. So in order for that, I will just go to my organization, go to the project. So I will go to the pipeline and I have a couple of pipelines already available here. So I will just click on one of the pipeline and I will change the agent pool name here and to test whether this pipeline is working on the newly created node or not. So I will just give here demo agent pool. So here the pool name will come which we created, demo agent pool. So in that pool, so we have only right now the one node. So this job will run on that particular node. If I have multiple nodes, so whichever the node will be available at that time, it will pick and job will run on that node. So I will just validate, click on validate and save and click on save. And here I will click on run. So if I click on run, here you can see the job will start. So right now it is saying it is in queue because I have to give the permission. So if I click here, I will permit. Yeah, I will. So job is started here, and if I go back to the pool in the node, you can see here in the logs it is saying running job, which is the demo job, right? So here the job name is demo job and it is running on our node. We have learned what are the different types of agent pools and how to create the self-hosted agent and how to configure it and how to use it into our pipeline. So now the question comes when to choose which agent pool we need to use, whether we need to use the Microsoft hosted agent or the self-hosted agent. So based on your requirement, if your team is small or you are individually looking for the pipeline setup, then you can go for the Microsoft hosted agent. Or if you are using any public or open source projects for unlimited free usage, you can go for the Microsoft hosted agent. Or if you want to use the standard tools which are provided by the Microsoft, right, and you don't have any specific configuration, then Microsoft hosted agents are best one because it is easily available and you don't need to do any configuration. And when you don't want to manage any infrastructure, then Microsoft hosted agents are the best choice. But if your team is large and you have the multiple pipelines which they are running, back to back concurrency node pipelines is required, then you go for the self-hosted agent. Or when you have your custom environment is required, it is compliance to the security or your specific tools are required and specific version is required, then you best choice is always go for the self-hosted agent. So hope you guys understand what is the difference between the Microsoft hosted agent and the self-hosted agents, how to create the self-hosted agent and configure it. Hope this session was very useful for you and you learned a lot. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. If you have any query regarding the self-hosted agents or the Microsoft hosted agent, feel free to write your query into the comment section. Thank you. Stay tuned and keep learning. Happy learning.